Hello, it is February 24th at 5:44 p.m. and we're doing a video here briefly on basically something that is brought up by another individual called Nicholson 1968. He has a channel that mostly goes into transhumanism, but what I'm going to do is apply what he put towards transhumanism, because he claims that, and he's right, this is going towards transhumanism as well, but also goes towards weather modification. Being that Satan is the Lord of the air, it says in here, where in Ephesians 2-2, where in the past time he walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. So what it's saying here is that Satan is the Lord of the air, basically. Excuse me. I clear my throat there. And that what it means is that Nicholson says this has to do with Satan's the Lord of like Wi-Fi signals flowing through the air that control transhumanist machines. But what I think is that this could be applied to weather modification, in that it's Satan's the Lord of signals flowing through the air that affect the weather, like for example microwaves, HARP and its signals. Supposedly HARP gets really hot if it gets heated up. So you have that kind of thing. So this applies to both transhumanism and weather modification. Okay, so it works both ways, and of course Satan is would be responsible for tinkering with the weather, because Satan's going to tinker with not only humanity, Satan's tinkering with this entire place. So it's kind of like it's kind of like how it goes. That's the deal basically. Like for the end times is that Satan's going to copy God's tinker with God's work basically, and just try to destroy creation slowly. So the whole point was everyone, the Illuminati, including they wanted me to be in the Illuminati, the whole point was everyone to remain quiet, so this way they can destroy creation and then force on the end times. The problem is the end times is not so fun or savory for everyone who's involved. So we're going to get to one other topic here. I'm going to disclose to you here something I discovered when reading the Bible. My Bible notes are all gone, but I still have a memory of what was in there. I'm going to show you guys something I discovered. Book of Matthew. I don't know where exactly it is, but it's in Book of Matthew. Book of Matthew. 2,000 pigs. Actually, I think that word's spelled incorrectly. We're going to have to... Yeah, I think I spelled... Oh, my bad for spelling precipice wrong. I almost got it right. I could probably spell it again if I just give it another go. Let's just put in 2,000 pigs just to make this quick. Huh. Come on, I can't even get the G to go through. Computer's on the fritz. Now we got a bunch of G's. Oops, well here we go. I'll be right back. I gotta shut this heat down over here. Okay, what's this thing doing now? So let's put in 2,000 pigs and see where it goes. See what it does. Okay, didn't find anything for 2,000 pigs. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to try Googling this and seeing what we can get real quickly. I should have had the window worked up there for you guys, okay? Okay, great. Well, of course the computer's acting funny. go figure. It's actually, yeah, because since all the Gospels of Christ are basically telling us their depiction of what Christ is in probably in all of the books that describe Christ's life, basically. So it's in Matthew, Mark, Luke. Because I only read Matthew and Mark. I read pieces of Luke and John, so I don't know entirely. Okay, so I want the entire thing, so I'm thinking Matthew 8. We'll see if we can get Matthew 8, this idea of where it's at. Matthew 8. Okay. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Should be here pretty soon. Should have had this window up for everyone before doing the video. Oh, this is ridiculous. Maybe it's in Mark. Oh, it's bad. I know it's here. Hopefully I can do this before the video time's up. I have like 15 minutes to finish the video. Luckily we got only on 6 minutes, so. Might be in Mark. I read Mark all the way through, so I know it's probably in Mark. Okay, I know this is here, so it's probably maybe Mark 5. We're going to go with Mark 5 instead, and we'll see if that's a better one. Because I want the numbers here. Mark 5. Okay. Okay, here we go. Maybe it said this in Mark. I just probably glanced over. I mean, Matthew, but I glanced over it by mistake. So this is in Mark, where it says, Jesus basically drove 2,000 pigs off a cliff. Okay, so since the Bible is prophetic and since it has to do with future events, and since the prophets are pretty much conduits for God's word and are prophetic, they predict the future. That's pretty much what it's all about, and that's what Christ is doing here. Christ, was more than just a prophet. Christ is the Son of God, but Christ here is being prophetic in saying that when he says that 2,000 pigs go off a cliff, he's referring to future events such as the year 2000. Okay, in the year 2000, you have changes that occurred in the United States, such as the Commodities Future and Modernization Act of 1999 and 2000. So it's in both those years, but it's it was officially promulgated in its entire package in the year 2000. And what that did was, it was a piece of legislation that made it so that you could trade derivatives very easily. They're no longer regarded as gambling instruments. It kind of deregulated the economy a bit more because some of the deregulations occurred, of course, under Reagan in the 80s. And then you have the neoliberal era in this era, like just before this, shortly before this, the spreading of neoliberal capitalism globally, and this is kind of an example of that. So they deregulated the economy here, and what it did was it helped wreck the economy basically, because you now have a mountain of derivatives, and they're pretty much a ticking time bomb. Eventually, though, that's one of many aspects of how the economy is on the fritz, because they have I don't even know how many trillions of, it's something like 18 or more trillion, or who knows, trillions worth of derivatives that, when they do collapse, they'll have problems and they'll eventually have to revamp the economy because of that. Derivatives are kind of ridiculous too, because they're not the right to buy and sell an actual product, or commodity, but it's the right to buy and sell a product at some point in the future. So it kind of is this gambling tool that you make speculations on. So anyway, long story short, we have that. Okay, so Christ doing that, he's telling you that that's a turning point in the economy in the future, okay? Because the precipice, of course, is the turning point. It's the point of no return. You go over a precipice and you basically, you're not coming back. It's a point of no return, okay? So, and then in the year 2000, you also have shortly thereafter, you have 9/11. And with 9/11, of course, it's a turning point in American foreign policy and global policy too, because all of the war on terror got declared, so that kind of thing. So it basically, the 2,000 pigs going off the cliff is telling you the future and telling you that the year 2000 is a turning point. history. So that's kind of like what I think what this whole verse was about here. And even it's just very well hidden, and you got to get creative with it. But that's what you have to do with most of the Bible. The Bible talks in metaphors, allusions, and things of that nature. So it's pretty much that's how it goes on that. I hope you guys have a good day, and God bless, and take care.